There are several functions and formulas that you need to use for your trip budget that we did not cover in the regular lab, so I'm going to cover them here so you know how to handle them for your trip budget. What I've loaded here is I've loaded one of these sample projects, and I've loaded the instructions. So let's see what it is that you need to do. I'm hoping by now that you have this, and I hope you took this seriously about this being at least a three-day seminar, because with it being a 3-day seminar, you can do these functions that you need to do. Now, the ones that I figure you guys are probably having the trouble with is right here. 4 functions: sum, average, minimum, and maximum. Well, we did the auto sum, so you should be okay. But the rest of them I'm going to show you. And then you've got here 3 formulas: subtraction, multiply. Multiply is okay, subtraction's okay, but I'm going to show you how you can use it. And then the complex formula. You've done the absolute cell reference. So the rest of these are, I think you've done all of this. And we did the sorting. So if you need to go back and look at the video, you can do that. We did the chart and footer, so that's all there. So let me minimize this now that we know that what we need to do, and I'm going to maximize this spreadsheet so that we can see what we're doing. Now, I have already put the headers here. The one thing that you need to look at here is if you don't have 3 days to calculate from, you're going to have a problem doing this project. That's why I say 3 days, and you needed to figure out separate meals. You can do this figure based on other items, but the easiest way to do it is based on the meals. So what I would do here is, if I want to know the maximum, the highest price, and I'm going to change this, I'm going to put this as the maximum lunch price. And I can either widen this column. Ooh, my keyboard. I need a new keyboard. That honestly, I wouldn't type like that. And I'm going to wrap this text. And then I'm going to do the minimum on the dinner. Since there is no breakfast for the 2 days on this one, this is the way I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do the average on the dinner price. And I am going to wrap text on these 2 to where we can see everything. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take this. Wouldn't it look better centered? There we go. Now, in order to do a maximum, remember how I showed you up here in the corner? You can either do this here, and you can find some of the functions that Excel has written. Or you can go over here to the formula bar and see where it says right here, insert a function. This brings up other functions, and you can say maximum, because we're looking for maximum, right? First. So it should, okay, and then I have to press go, and I'm going to select the maximum. And then it's going to ask me what range of cells do I want to use. And if we're doing the lunch, so I highlight the maximum lunch. So there's my range. I click OK. Now, is the 1124 the largest value, the highest value? Well, yes, it is. So that works. It's just as easy. I'm going to delete this and to go up here on the Home tab, and if you click down, click maximum, and I don't want the breakfast range, I want the lunch range. So select the lunch, and there's the lunch. It's just as easy that way. So it depends upon what function you're using. Now the minimum dinner price, we're going to have a little bit of problem with this. If I go to the auto sum and calculate on the minimum, and I don't want the minimum of what it's selecting, I want the minimum on the dinner. And I press enter. Oh, it did work. So I was afraid, and sometimes watch out. When you have cells here that are blank, it may come up with a 0. So if that happens, what you would have to do in that case is I would have to go over here and say minimum of this one. I think it's comma, this one, comma, this one. And let's try that. See? So that way I don't select the cells in between. So that's how your minimum and maximum works. So I should let you guys do the average, but I will. I'll show you an example. I like using this auto sum here if I know that this is right here. It's just easier for me. So I click average, and I want the average of the dinner prices. So I'm going to go over here and select the average of the dinner prices. I press enter. So the average prices of dinner is $44. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds good to me. They must have had a lot of drinks with that. So there is my minimum, maximum, and average calculations. Now, what is a complex formula? A simple formula, and I'm going to go over here, a simple formula would be equals your trip total plus this. So see, there are only 2 figures in there. So that would be a simple formula. A complex formula is when you have more than 2 items being calculated. So what I mean by that is if I go to the grand total, and this one I'm just going to write a formula for, and I hit the plus sign. So the grand total of the meals is the 184. Then I'm going to press plus the grand total of the hotel plus the total of the transportation plus the total of the entry fees. You see how you have more than 2 things being calculated? That is a complex formula. Oh, why is that? What did I tell you? When you end up with those hash marks, that just means that your column isn't wide enough. So that is your complex formula. Now your subtraction, we've done addition and we've done multiplication. And subtraction, you start with your equal sign, and I want to find out how much money is left after the budget. So I'm going to start with the budget price. I'm going to subtract how much the actual costs were, and then I press enter. So I ended up with $314, so I can get a little bit of extra when I get home. So that ends up with some extra money. If you were to want, in division, we aren't using it on any of these, but if you were using it on something here, all you would do for division is it is your plus sign. Say I want to divide this by, and all I'm going to use is my slash, divide it by 4 people because there's 4 people going. So that's your division if you should ever want to do that. Okay? So what I will do is I don't want you to copy this, and I don't want you to use it as a template, but I will put this up on Canvas showing the formulas so that you can see how some of these formulas were done. So it'll be a good example for you. So good luck. If you have any problems with these formulas, please contact me.